what's going on YouTube? I'm here to talk about loose hairs. I've gotten many questions about loose hairs, especially in the beginning stages of the locks. One person in particular, someone named Shea, asks, "Hello, my name's Shea. Just started my lock journey going on 6 weeks now, and I recently saw your channel on YouTube. Love your locks and that you semi-freeform, because that's the path I'm thinking will be best for me as well. My question is, did you deal with loose hairs around your locks in the beginning stages? And how do you personally get them to merge into one of the surrounding locks?" First of all, Shea, I want to say thank you so much for asking the question. And thank you for your patience. I know this video took a while to get to, but I'm really happy you asked the question and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Dealing with loose hairs. It's a common topic, especially with semi-freeform locks, because you don't get it twisted. A lot of times your new growth is gonna come in wild and it's gonna do its thing, and there's 2 ways to go about it. Well, first I'm gonna answer the question, did I deal with loose hairs in the beginning stages? And I'll have to honestly say, I think so. I don't remember too much loose hairs, but they were fuzzy. They were definitely fuzzy, and I kind of embraced it though. They were definitely unique and kind of wild to begin with, so I didn't worry too much about it. But I gotta say, the later on, towards the middle, when the lock became mature, so the tighter it got, the hairs that weren't as tight were definitely loose. So yeah, I'd say in the beginning stages, not so much, but towards the middle and towards the end, I was dealing with loose hairs towards the roots, and even at the ends, like right here, a lot of my ends still haven't matured. The middle is definitely mature, but towards the root and at the end, I still deal with loose hairs. I still do. It's just because the middle part has become mature and tightened and compressed. They're becoming mature, so the ones that haven't gotten there yet are definitely more noticeable. So the first thing I'm gonna say is what I did. While I tried to avoid messing with loose hairs too much, when I did wanna fix it a little bit, I took the loose hairs at the roots and I wrapped it around gently, not too tight, because you don't want your locks to be like bumpy, like really tight, then thick, then tight, then thick, because at the points where you were tying your loose hairs or you were wrapping them around the lock, it can become too tight at one point and then loose and tight. And I mean, it's fine, doesn't have to be perfect or anything. If you do wanna kind of touch up your loose hairs, just gently wrap the hairs around the lock, especially when they're wet. When they're dry, I wouldn't mess with it too much. And I would do it only when it's wet and just maybe once a day, or if not at all, just as minimal as possible. The more you twist and manipulate your loose hairs, they can become weaker. But again, this is if you do it a lot. If you do it, everyone does it. I know I do it. It's one of the number one things I've had the least patience with is loose hairs. And I'll find myself just like twisting the ends like this, twisting and at the roots and twisting, but I do it. That's why they're not completely cylindrical, but they kind of have, you can tell the locks have a more lock shape instead of like a big thick one here and a smaller one there. I definitely try to maintain that a little bit. And even here, for example, see if you guys can see the loose hair like that, and I'll wrap it around like that very lightly and try to leave it be. And especially, I did just kind of get out the shower not too long ago, so my hair is still kind of damp. But if you do want to deal with loose hairs, just so I can keep track of what I'm saying, gently wrap it around your lock towards the root or down the lock, but not too tight. But the second option is my favorite option, the one that I'm trying to do more myself, and in the long run I think it's for the best, is to leave them alone. The thing about semi-freeform or freeform locks is that it's part of the journey. It's part of what makes your locks unique. The different shapes, the different sizes, lengths. I think there's a unique beauty in that, and that comes with patience. It comes with letting go of control, letting your locks do what they want to do in the time that they're going to do it. I know it's within us to have a more neat look, even though these aren't conventional locks and they're a little bit more messy. I still have a hard time controlling myself and not wanting them to be perfect, messing with loose hairs myself, even when I'm bored or I just want it to look a certain way. That's something I'm working on, is to just leave it alone, to leave my hair alone and let it lock on its own. I feel like in the long run, the loose hairs will mature, they will connect. And if they connect with a lock you don't want to, you just kind of separate them. But to constantly twist and focus so much energy on loose hairs, it could be detrimental to your locks. It could make them weaker over time. Again, it's over time. I can't say it's gonna make them weak automatically, but the thing is, if there's no right or wrong way to go about locks, I always say that. If you twist your hair, that's part of, maintaining loose hairs. When you get a retwist, it goes back into the lock, they look a lot more neat, and there's a lot less loose hairs everywhere, and it looks nice. We're all, I can't blame you for that. But if you want to embrace freeform or semi-freeform, you just gotta embrace the loose hairs. They're inevitable, especially with new growth. It's gonna happen. Just try to maintain it as minimalistic as possible and try your best to, kind of keep your hands off and let your lock mature on its own. I promise it will. From what I hear, after 2 years, 3 years, it's gonna be different. And you'll probably deal with a little bit less loose hairs, but there still could be. Those are my 2 ways that I've come up with so far about how to deal with them. The first one is to be gentle, be loose with it, and do it when your hair is still somewhat wet, or just leave it alone. And that's something I'm working on myself. So Shea, I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for asking, taking the time out of your day to talk to me. And hopefully this video wasn't too late, but yeah. If you guys have any questions for me as usual, leave it in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.